Hi guys, Blake and Levi here today with Lilley's Landing Resort and Marina on Upper Lake Taneycomo. It is Tuesday, December the 22nd of 2020, and we're going to do the one cast for you today. So today we boated up here. We're kind of in the middle of the lake, and we are right across from the tennis court, and they're running 2,490 CFS, which is just a little more than one unit, or a little more than a half unit, which is kind of the same thing they've been running, that minimum flow. And today looks like Levi's gonna try the fly rod today. Today we're going to be throwing some MegaWorms or mop worms or whatever you want to call them. These mop worms, MegaWorms, have a 1/100th ounce jig head on them. Mine I'm using is a peach MegaWorm. Looks like so. And Levi is using a chartreuse MegaWorm, and I've got this set at about probably 9 foot or so, and I've got a decent sized cork. It kind of, these MegaWorms take a little bit bigger of a indicator to hold up, and I'm gonna just leave those weightless. They're gonna take a while to get sink down to the bottom, but with a flow like we have today, you shouldn't need a weight. You just have to be patient to let it get down there to the bottom. I'm gonna get a little more line out there. Okay, there's my official first cast right there. So, I don't know how long ago it was, a month or two ago, we had flows similar to this where they were running those half units, and we did fairly well fishing the MegaWorm. And so I wanted to come out here and try those again, since I haven't really heard of anybody using them lately. I wish there was a little bit more chop on the water where we're at right now. I know that all of these things work a little bit better with more chop. It's an unbelievable day here in the Ozarks. It's I don't know, what do you think it is, 63, 64 degrees outside? I believe so. Perfectly beautiful, sunny, partly cloudy. And just couldn't ask for prettier weather in the end of December. Only how many days until Christmas? 3 days until Christmas, and it is absolutely beautiful outside. If there's not very much chop on the water when I'm fishing a MegaWorm, I will try to wiggle it around a little bit. Just give it that little bit of extra action. Looks like there's another fairly good midge hatch going on today. It'll probably be a good day to get out there again with those midges. And dang it, okay, nothing officially on the first cast. The wind and the current both are blowing me into the bank here, so I'm doing my best to control the drift. Been up top working on projects all day. So fishing report wise, the only one I have is a couple guys we just passed a second ago. They were drifting down through here and said that they were having some luck on scuds, drifting scuds on their under a float on their fly rods. They said they had caught some up above Lookout Island, down below it, and they said down here through the Narrows, they said the bite was a lot better when the wind was heavier. But they said they were still catching a few. So one report on scud drifting was working today, and I was contemplating doing that today, but I really wanted to find out if I could pick up a fish on a MegaWorm again, because the last time we had this half unit flows and we were fishing these things, they were just knocking the snot out of these things. And I'd say next to the white MegaWorm, the peach and the chartreuse are the two next best ones. I think I fished a yellow one a couple of times with a little bit of luck. If you do drift these MegaWorms weightless, or just with the weight that they already have on them, I like to extend the indicator out a little farther. I'm gonna fish this other side. I think I can control the boat a little better this way. The wind is being really mean. Anyway, so I like to add an extra foot or two. So if I'm fishing 7 foot of water, I like to set it at 8 or 9 foot, because with it being weightless, it's going to take longer for it to get down to the bottom. And if you get into spots where the current's heavier, it's going to pick it up. So you need that extra length to set it down. I'm turning the boat, Levi.
Yeah.
I think this method here will be better. Sometimes you get the current pushing you in the one direction and the wind pushing the same direction. It gets really tricky to hold the proper drift. And looks like we're getting into a little bit of chop. It's a little bit of wind. I actually kind of prefer that. Oh, let's see, that was the only fishing report I had. I know Phil went out. I see he had stuff in the boat earlier. I didn't get to talk to him before he left today. I think he came up here and went wading in that same area we were fishing yesterday evening. But he got his shooting line out with his chuck and duck rig, and I think he was over there in that shallow water fishing scuds on a chuck and duck rig. Well, with these MegaWorms, you got to be careful that that worm, the tail's long enough that when you flip it out there, it'll get caught on the hook, and then they definitely do not bite it whenever it's all tangled up like that. So make sure in between casts you're making sure that your MegaWorm's not tangled, or you'll fish for a long time wondering why you're not catching anything. Levi, we might have to have you break out the jigs so you can show us what a fish looks like today. Not very many boats out on the water today. I think we've only passed 2 on our way up here. Ideally, try not to cast as much as I am right now. The longer that thing's in the water on the bottom, the better chance you have of catching a fish. But whenever you got wind conditions and current keeping your drift from going the right way, it gets drifted back into the boat and all kinds of fun stuff, and then you gotta cast and start over. Oh no, I finally had a bite. Oh, I believe the last time we had the water off, this was another good bait to choose. Oh boy. Well, I did bring a jig rod with me today, but I'm not going to give up. I'm going to stick with the MegaWorm, and if I don't catch a fish, I don't catch a fish. Hey, we missed that one. Okay. Looks like I should have went with the scud today. If I had more time, I'd definitely go up by the dam and through Trophy Run. I know sometimes this MegaWorm works real good down through Trophy Run. Did you miss one?
Yep.
Oh man. Today I'm really having to do a lot of work with this trolling motor. It's not ideal. Wow. Another good choice today would probably be a San Juan worm. Water's still a little little dingy. And with how many of the midges have been hatching, anything that imitates that red worm look would be a pretty good choice. All right, the wind just picked up to 20 miles an hour out of nowhere. Might just have to call it a day early today. It would be hard to fish a jig or anything in this type of wind right now. Coming down through the narrows right now. Actually, we're just about to the end of it. Goodness gracious. So probably on a day with this type of wind, the better method would be to hook something up on a drift rig on a spin cast rod, where you don't have to worry about the drift of your indicator whenever you can't keep the boat where you need it to be or keep even with the current. That's definitely the way I think I would go today. Or find one section of the lake that's not as windy and just kind of repeat drift on that. We'll go for a second longer than I'm calling it. Miss another one?
No,
I can't even slow the boat down enough right now. I was really hoping I'd get to see what a fish looks like today, but I don't think it's gonna happen. It's hard to concentrate on what you want to talk about and concentrate on steering the boat at the same time.
Oh, no.
Just pull your line in and then pull straight back on it. Yep, just like that. Well, you broke it off. You got a chance to throw your jig for a second before I give up. Maybe we get to see what a fish looks like now.
Oh.
with this MegaWorm, there's two ways that I've found that it works. There's days where the fish are suspended up a little bit higher and you don't have to drag it across the bottom. So you set it, you know, 7 foot and 8 foot of water, so on and so forth, always just a foot shy of what you're fishing. And then more times than not, I usually set it to where when the current's going, it's hitting the bottom, got a little bit of an angle in the line, and it's kind of bouncing up and off the bottom pretty lightly. Hey, don't hook my line. Another thing I could have done with this today, since that MegaWorm's heavy enough to get to the bottom, was I could have set a scud dropper underneath. Yeah, go ahead and pull that motor up. Could have dropped a scud underneath. Alright, we're getting ready to drift past the front of Eagle Island here. I think I'm gonna pull out. I've got a rod with a midge on it, and I'm just gonna try the midge along the front side of the island here. Just for a couple more minutes. With the nose of the boat pointing upstream, I should have a little bit better control. Where we were at earlier, the sun was pointing directly in the camera, so I wanted to keep the boat downstream as well. I would imagine these fish are midging right in here next to this island, but with how windy it is, it's probably fairly hard to see that. Got a size 16 rusty red zebra midge on there right now. I'm using 5X tippet. So far I haven't noticed too big of a difference in catching fish using 5X or not, so I always go heavier when I can. Jacket's gonna blow away. I think it's supposed to stay nice like this for the next few days at least. Probably be a beautiful day on Christmas. gosh. I'm about done with this. I'm about done with this wind. I give up. This wind's too much for me. Well, Levi, the fish beat us today. But we thank you guys for watching. Like and share us on Facebook. And we'll do it for you again tomorrow. Oh my gosh, that's shallow. That was a huge fish. Out there. Alright guys. Thanks for watching. We'll do it for you again tomorrow.